This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee.
Offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. What's going to happen? Gone. All right, joining us now is Bryan Bulaga. Would you like to join that club, or are we overreacting to how they do things in Philadelphia?
No, I don't think that's going to be a lot of patience there in Philadelphia, unfortunately. And that's a difficult group to please, it seems like, from a fan base and from a player standpoint. Seems like that's going to be a tough task. A lot of mouths to feed in Philly. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah,
a lot of mouths to feed in Philly.
Anybody that wants a team that does a lot, always making moves, you want to become a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles with their GM.
Yeah,
he doesn't changes by the hour. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just mean from their player personality standpoint, they have a lot of guys that are
high maintenance.
Yes, that if they're not getting the ball or they're not doing that, you're going to see it. It's going to be very, very evident. And that starts with the QB to the wideouts. Saquon's not as bad. You can't really tell what Saquon's thinking from time to time. But definitely the QB and the wideouts is going to be a tough task to keep everyone happy.
Now, to be fair, no one cares anything about the Philadelphia Eagles. At least that's my standard. Everything is important only as it relates to the Green Bay Packers. And the Eagles are certainly a player for the Packers to deal with. But the Packers, have an offensive coordinator, Adam Stenavich. And you know the question everybody's asking, why the hell isn't Sean Mannion, who everybody talks about as being something who's, if not special, now going to be special, why does he not replace Adam Stenavich if the alternative is Mannion is going and gone to a good team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and handling that will be Bryan Bulaga. Take it away.
Yeah, that's a good question, and because I at the end of the day, the offensive coordinator in Green Bay doesn't call plays. He doesn't call plays. He's not responsible on game day. I mean, yeah, they obviously handle the offensive meetings and things like that, and they're involved in game planning and have a way on it, but the final decisions come down to the play caller at the end of the day, and that's the head coach. So as much as you want to, why would Mannion take the job or even want the job in Green Bay when he's not calling plays, when he's going to get to call plays in Philly?
So if offered both jobs and you were Sean Mannion, you're going to Philly. So it really doesn't matter what the Packers did because the position in Philly is better than the position in Green Bay. And so I guess – then the question becomes, LaFleur would be crazy because the guy he has as offensive coordinator, he clearly likes and understands that. So when your head coach calls the plays, you're going to lose somebody on the offensive staff to be offensive coordinator when it's an opportunity at another, we don't know, any team. I always wonder if it was Cleveland Browns, would he take it? But no, there would be teams that you might turn it down. But
there would be teams that you may turn it down.
You made it sound pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, when there's an opportunity for you to actually call the plays and you're responsible for it and you believe you're ready for that at that point in your career, you're going to take that opportunity. I mean, that's just because we see how today goes, right? Like, coordinators get head coaching jobs very quickly, very quickly. So to me, I mean, if I'm Mannion and that's a potential goal that I have is to be an NFL coach in this league, you got to call plays. You got to have that responsibility. You have to bear that responsibility for a good football team. The Eagles are a good football team, and he's going to have his opportunity now to do that in Green Bay. I mean, like it or not, Matt does it. I think Matt does a good job, but Matt's the play caller, and he will be the play caller. He's not giving up being the play caller. So offensive coordinators that are at Green Bay, they just, I mean, I don't want to make this sound too simplistic. Your job's done on Friday. Your job's done on Friday. You may be a little bit involved on Saturday, maybe helping the first 15, maybe putting in your 2 cents. But at the end of the day, it's either Matt's going to like it or he's not going to like it. And he's going to do it or not do it. So once the final install, short yardage and goal line is done on Friday, you as the old coordinator, you're done. Like, it's over if you're not called to plays.
And I don't know that there could be a position with any more pressure than the one he's taking, or also the one in which you can write this one down. He does a great job, and there is a massive difference in the Philadelphia Eagles offense this year versus last year. You know who's going to be a hot candidate for a head coach the following year? Sean Mannion, because Philadelphia was a mess offensively this year. So he has an opportunity to impress everybody in the league.
Sure
already
does.
With the pair. Yes. If the Philadelphia offense is really good, I say he's a head coach somewhere else next year. At the age of, how old do you think Sean Mannion is?
Sean, what is he? Like, I don't know. What is he, in his 20s? 28?
He's 18. No. Sean Mannion is, you knew he was younger, that he is 33.
33. He's younger than I am. A head coach. My guess is he'll need probably 2 years in that position to get a head coaching job. So 35. Isn't that when McVay got his, when he was like 35?
I think he was even younger than that. I think he might have been 30, but I'm not sure. He was in his 30s.
I'm not totally sure either.
Mannion is considered a young rising coach. The Eagles selecting him after an extensive search. You know, and that would be, I would assume, that this decision is made in large part by the general manager.
Because,
but you know, you can't ask for a better chance. Now, there's a lot of risk because I do also believe that if he's horrible, he'll get fired. That's what they do in Philly, and it has nothing to do with the fans. It has to do with the general manager and how he does things. But I think the last guy, haven't they had 3 different offensive coordinators the last 3 years? 2 got fired and 1 moved on because he did so well. I'll have to.
Well, yeah, it was Steichen that went to Indy. Steichen went to Indy as the head coach.
Right, and the other 2 got fired. But Tulo,
what's his name went to? Well, yeah, he got fired because he was
Brian Johnson and Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, that's right. Kellen Moore went back to Dallas, correct? Or did he get the head job?
That's fine. I probably shouldn't have brought it up unless I have all the information in front of me. But I want to predict that now Sean Mannion, maybe after next season, he won't have a chance for the top teams. You're probably right. And then he might be smart enough to know that he needs a couple years.
But regardless, Green Bay loses a guy that is obviously coveted around the league.
And they didn't do anything wrong. They did nothing wrong.
No. I mean, you can't. Okay, so we'll put it this way, too. I don't think you're going to, because what was he, the QB's coach?
He was the quarterback's coach, promoted to the quarterback's coach. What he was before that, I don't know how you get to be lower than he was. Quality control or, I don't know, these names they come up with because they have more coaches than even like assistant quarterback coach. Who knows? Somebody can look it up. But that's when they have 100 coaches. But,
he's not going to get paid offensive coordinator money at the QB coach position. Just not going to happen. Green Bay can't match that. It's just it's not going to happen.
How I say this? If I was LaFleur and he wanted to stay as our coordinator versus Philly, I'm not sure I want him because I'm not sure how smart he is. Like,
you don't know.
If LaFleur was in the same situation years ago, what would he have done? To be the offensive coordinator, I'm not sure there's a better job. Maybe the Chargers was. They got players, right? If he knows what he's doing, if he's special,
Yep. If he's able to do the job, man, he's got the tools there to get it done. That's for sure. They have the
you
tools.
mentioned, and I said, I don't know if it was, hey, you need to talk to Bulaga. Why? He's going to tell you what you got to deal with, and the biggest thing you deal with is the personalities and all the, right, and the offense. That's the biggest issue.
Yep, you got to deal with Brown and Hurts, and
you got to figure it out when others couldn't.
Yes, because it was a disaster last year for them offensively.
Yeah,
I mean, they were nowhere near. I mean, the run game was bad,
and it didn't make any sense given how good they were the year before.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
And I will defer to you as to can a coordinator make that much difference, or I don't know.
I hate to say that he can, right? Like I really do. I hate because there's no way that the playbook changed that much, right? Like they didn't change the playbook like dramatically, so it was either lack of performance or he didn't call the right things in the right situations or right personnel. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly, but passing it when you should run it and running it when you should pass it. I have no idea, but it didn't go well, and he didn't handle the personalities there well, and that's an issue. It just in Philly it is.
Here's on YouTube, because so many people follow us now on YouTube. Hold on. Jason will be coming up in a bit. Subscribe on YouTube whenever or wherever you're listening. Just know we're live on YouTube as well. That's one of the things that's changed. So many people now watch on YouTube and then complain why I have a coat on. You can watch the show, see what's happening in the studio, and comment along with us. Just search ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and subscribe today. Like a question. I'm absolutely stunned by this. Why did we let this kid out of the building? Well, whoever this person is, clearly they're not listening to the show because you explained it. And I'll stand by this because Brian Woodney's too nice. If he wants to stay instead of going to Philly, I don't want him here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at the ambition, right? Like, what's the ambition?
How sharp is he? You get to call the plays in one place and you don't in the other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's why Steno is interviewing at other teams because he wants to do the same thing, right? Like that. I mean, that's because right now, even on our own programs like KBN, they're roasting Steno, but you're roasting him exactly for what?
Yeah,
like that's like, and I talked about this with Jason on Wednesday too. And with Tausch, we were talking about Steno, and I like Steno. I mean, I do. I think he's a good football coach.
And you know him. I don't know him.
Yes, I know him. I think he's a smart coach. I think he's good. I think he's great with the guys that are in the room. I think he's really good. Like, but you can only put the blame on him if you don't like something in the offense so much. Like at the end of the day, he doesn't call the plays. And he
how much blame I give him? You know how much blame I give him? 1/4 of 1%.
Exactly.
It may be that person has more than that, but basically he's the assistant to LaFleur.
Yeah. I mean, he runs the offense. He runs the offensive meetings. He installs the game plan for the guys, which I know Steno knows how to install. He did it. I was in the meeting room while he installed the game plans for the week. So I'm very.
And I know, by the way, I want to also add, I don't want Steno if he doesn't want to go somewhere where he gets to call the plays.
Yeah, which he has. He's interviewed. Like he's gone and interviewed at different places.
But he hasn't gotten the job, I don't think so.
Yeah, no. So like, it's just one of those things that like if you're gonna heap blame on him, like okay, and when he's up in the box and they always show the pictures of the last year they'd show Halfley and Steno was like two guys down from him. They're communicating about what personnel groupings coming on the field. Maybe he has an advice about what pressures they're showing or what defensive fronts they're giving. And that's what he's relaying down to Matt. He's not telling Matt, hey, Matt, you need to run, 32 power or whatever they call it these days. Like he's not telling him that. That's not what that's not what he's putting in Matt's ear. Matt may ask him, "Hey, what do you think about this personnel grouping against this personnel, against their personnel, and he'll give his opinion. But like, you're like to say that he is the one like telling Matt what to do is just it's not the case. Matt calls the plays again. Like once the collaboration is done throughout the week from all the coaches and the game plans put together, he's up there in the box relaying down information to Matt for what he's seeing on the field. And either Matt confirms it, he doesn't like it, he likes it. At the end of the day, Matt is the judge, jury, executioner on it. He's saying yes or no. Like that's the end of the day. Like, and it was the same way. It was the same way when Mike was the head coach and Joe Philbin was the OC, and then Tom Clements was the OC, and Alex Van Pelt. Like, it was the same way. Mike called the plays. Like, and that was that. Like, at the end, like the buck stops with the head coach if he calls the plays, and that's it. Like Matt makes the final call. And again, I'll say it again. I think Matt does a good job calling plays. So like, I'm not sure why we're looking now to like get after Steno for this. Like, or what are we looking to get? I mean, I guess what do we want to get?
I don't know. I'm not in that group. I don't consider the obviously with the percentage. I don't consider the position important enough to blame that person. It's all the offense is LaFleur, and so whoever does that has to be and should be the person he likes to work with, for whatever the reasons are. Next, and like a new guy comes in and he's going to change things. No,
absolutely not.
He's gonna do just the same way, and if he doesn't buy into what LaFleur does, he's stupid to take the job. Other than if he just wants to be an offensive coordinator, that position does hold. But again, as was the case going all the way back to Holmgren, other teams look at a person and question how much do they really do? Like, how much experience does Stenovich really have? You're getting him as your offensive coordinator, basically. He has no experience calling plays, which means you have reason to wonder how good he's going to be, right?
Well, that's always the question, right? When you have a head coach that's the play caller.
Andy Reid's offensive coordinator, Bieniemy.
Yeah, he doesn't call plays. Well, he went and called plays at other places. How'd that go?
It didn't go well, and now I think he's back in Kansas City, isn't he?
Yes.
Because they had other issues. All right, enough of me, because Jason Wilde is waiting, and so it'll be Bryan Bulaga and Jason Wilde next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Well, we've got a broken down vehicle on 94 southbound, just south of Layton. The right lane is blocked right now, so just watch out for that. Other than that, westbound 894 is backed up from 20th Street pretty much all the way to 68th. Southbound on the bypass, backed up from Beloit Road around the Hale Interchange past Forest Home. Southbound 43 also seeing delays from just before Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound from Fond du Lac up past North Avenue is where you're seeing those delays. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, chilly with a low of 4 above at the lakefront, 2 below inland, wind chills of 0 to 5 below. Tomorrow, chance for lake effect snow, 1 to 3 inches of snow possible, partly sunny with a high of 16. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Another 2-man scramble tournament is underway. Play the Kapalua Plantation course for a shot at cash prizes. Must play by January 31st. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Green and Gold have found their guy.
The Packers have hired their new defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, now the former Cardinals head coach.
And he promises to be electric. The Green Bay Packers have hired Jonathan Gannon as their new defensive coordinator.
Good.
Stay up to date with all your Packers offseason news right here. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Brewery
Brewers mini ticket plans for the 2026 season are available now with 6-game, 12-game, and build-your-own plan options. You can pick or build the best plan for your schedule, whether you're gearing up for tailgates under the sun, the thrill of the home runs, or the eruptions of walk-off wins. Brewers mini plans have you covered for the 2026 season with specially discounted ticket rates and more exclusive perks in each plan. Check out all the mini plan options available for 2026 now at brewers.com/ticket plans.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. You know that saying, new year, new you. Well, how about new year, new home upgrade? Universal Windows Direct has a January offer that's all about starting strong and saving big. Right now, when you buy 4 windows, you get 4 free, and that's one of the biggest offers they've ever done, and with 0% interest financing for 60 months. You'll also get $1,000 off your entire project, plus a vacation voucher with every purchase. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Jason Wilde, 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. Take it away, Doc Bryan Bulaga.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. So I saw you tweet about it, and I wanted to get your take on it because I don't know much about him, about the defensive coach that was hired from the Bills. Is it Babich or Babich or
Bobby Babich?
Yes.
Bobby Babich.
Yes. What's kind of the insight on him? What was his role in Buffalo? What's the deal with him?
So he got there in 17, and he was like the assistant defensive backs coach. But his dad, who was once the coach at North Dakota State, the head coach, and spent, I think, 2 years on Don Morton's staff at Wisconsin, as Homer and I discussed yesterday, was also in Buffalo. He was the linebackers coach. And so then Bobby moved up to the secondary or DB's coach full time, the head guy. And then when his dad retired, then he moved to linebackers to replace his dad. And then 2 years ago, LaFleur interviewed him for the defensive coordinator job and obviously hired Jeff Hafley instead. But Sean McDermott, who called the plays sometimes on defense, because he was a defensive coordinator himself, but not always, promoted Bobby to be the defensive coordinator. So the last 2 years he was the defensive coordinator. And look, obviously that defense has been a really good defense. I'm guessing that when you're the defensive coordinator for a defensive coach who calls the plays, it's like being steno for Matt LaFleur, where you probably don't get as much credit as, say, Jeff Hafley got for his defense. But, look, he's a sharp, pretty young guy, and I think he's from what I could see, because I watched a few of his press conferences, he's got energy. He feels like he's got a little bit of Halfley to him and a little bit of Anthony Campanile, who left after 1 year as the linebackers coach to become the Jaguars defensive coordinator. So, from a personality standpoint, seems like a good fit. And he's got, I don't know if he's got any real history with Gannon, but he's got history with LaFleur, and that obviously has value too, given the fact that he'd interviewed him and considered him a top candidate for the DC job last time.
So what role is he going to be in Green Bay? What is his role per se?
He is going to be the defensive passing game coordinator, which basically means he's coaching corners and all the other stuff that comes with that improved title. Because, initially, and I know others were told this as well, I was told that he was basically replacing Ryan Downard, who was the DB's coach, had coached just the safeties for a while. And I was like, well, wait a minute, that's not the title that Downard had. And sure enough, Derek Ansley is also departing. So clearly, I don't want to assume anything, but either Derek Ansley didn't think it was a good fit for him to stay, or Jonathan Gannon has someone else in mind, in addition to Bobby Babich, to be coaching in the secondary. So both those, they're going to be, as of now, their defensive staff will be totally different, except for DeMarcus Covington, who was the defensive line coach this year. And I don't know if it's just a matter of when and not if he's leaving too. But as you well know, sometimes coordinators come in and they just keep all the guys that are already there as assistants. And sometimes they have all their own guys they want to bring in. But the Babich hire doesn't feel like this is a guy Jonathan Gannon targeted. He feels like this is a guy LaFleur really liked, and Gannon was on board with it. But again, until we get to talk to anyone, I just don't know.
Yep. Well, I mean, it would appear that obviously the hiring of him is a sign that the staff getting put together is a good step. Then, if we're losing people and you're hiring good people, that's normally a good thing, at least in my opinion. But So what do you hear? Obviously, we talked about it with Mannion probably becoming the OC in Philly, or that maybe that's official. I don't know if it's official, but who's going to take over the QB? Oh, sorry.
It is happening. No, that's okay. I don't think the Eagles have announced it. It's kind of like all these Packers hirings that aren't technically official yet either. But he is definitely. I got a buddy that covers the Eagles, and he's like, "Yep, they're hiring him." So,
okay.
We knew he was a kind of a rising star, and LaFleur talked very glowingly about him. So this should not be a surprise. But, and I know you and I talked about this, there were obviously fans, for no apparent reason other than they don't really know or care about what Steno does, who thought that it was important enough to keep Mannion that they should get rid of Steno just to keep him and promote him to offensive coordinator. And clearly Matt LaFleur could have done that if he wanted to, and he definitely did not do that. So that tells you a little bit about what Matt LaFleur was thinking about Steno and about kind of where he's at on his offensive staff.
Yes. So who's going to take over that offensive or that QB role then, that QB coach role, if he's out?
So I would they obviously could just slide Getsy into that role, right? I mean, he's coached quarterbacks before. He has certainly coached Jordan Love, I think.
Yep.
I think Jordan's first year, I think his first 2 years maybe, or at least his first year for sure, he was Jordan Love's quarterbacks coach, along with being that other guy that was winning an MVP or whatever. So I would think that that's a logical thing. He could keep the senior offensive assistant title that he has as well, but that would be an easy move. Or they can bring, maybe they want to cultivate somebody else and leave Luke Getsy in that kind of hard to understand exactly what he does senior offensive assistant title role.
What about Hackett?
Yeah, he'd be an option too. Like, again, we never got to talk to him this season because he was an advisor or whatever they were calling him. And he was obviously doing it with the defense. So I don't know what their plan is for him, if there is a plan for him. And I say, let me be clear. I'm not saying this in a mean-spirited way at all. I find myself wondering, is he kind of like radioactive now? Like, I thought maybe in this hiring cycle, kind of like Saleh, Saleh spent the 1 year in 24 helping the offense from a defensive-minded coach's perspective, right? And then, he got the defensive – he went right back to San Francisco as the DC. Now, I thought maybe that would happen with Hackett, and I haven't seen him mentioned for any job whatsoever. Have you? Like, I haven't seen his name even floated out there for anything. So, which leads me to believe that after the way things went in Denver and the way things went in New York with the Jets, that, he's not on anyone's radar as something they want to hire.
Okay. That's interesting. What's the news on, I guess, then Steno then? Is he done interviewing for all his jobs? Are there more that he has to go do, or what's kind of the status there?
Yeah, I'll be honest. Because of the way this has all been handled, we don't know anything about anybody, right? Other than if they have an interview.
I think he's probably coming back.
Yeah, I would. Hi, Homer. I think you're probably right. I was actually thinking about texting him and just asking him what was going on with him because, and look, I have to admit that I have floated the idea of maybe Matt wants to make a change to get new ideas in there, but he clearly at this point has not. I don't know. Like, I also thought, and you and I talked about this, Brian, like with the way the offensive line performed, even though I'm not sure it's Luke Butkus's fault that it performed that way, that maybe he would be, replaced by someone. And we kind of said, well, they could replace him with Campy. Well, not anymore because Campy's joining Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
All right, I have a question for both of you, and I could be wrong, but I think the position of the line coach is more important than offensive coordinator when you have a head coach like LaFleur who calls the plays. Agree or disagree?
For me, because I've been in that situation twice with Green Bay, obviously with Mike always as the play caller, and then Matt as the play caller. The offensive line coach has a huge role in that situation because he's reporting directly back to the head coach who has the final say no matter what because he's the play caller as well. And he's giving feedback to what is working in that room up front and what can be done by that room and what can't be done by that room and what he's asking for in that week's game plan. So I think it's vital that the O-line coach has a strong voice in this type of setup because, listen, I mean, play callers are already finicky, right? I mean, they're already very, they're play callers. And then you make it the head coach, and then there's another level to it. Then it's like, I'm also your boss too. And I'm the play caller, so I'm your boss on both levels. And it's an easy way for the offensive linemen to be able to obviously talk to their coach, let them know, like, hey, there's no way we can get this done or that done. Like, we can't do this or that scheme against this look or that look. And then he takes that directly to the play caller, which is the head coach who has the final say no matter what. So I think the O-line coach in this type of setup has to have a strong voice and has to be someone that the head coach trusts because that's 5 of your 11 guys starting on offense have to be able to trust in the game plan and operate it and do it at a high level. And you need to have all 5 of those guys being able to do it. So hearing their say, not that any time an O-lineman said, like, hey, this isn't going to work, like they cared or they listened, they'd be like, just do it. who care? I don't care if you don't think it's going to work or not. Just do it. But it's good to have that voice, and an O-line coach that was able to do that is fantastic. Obviously, Campy was that forever, and then Steno was the same way. My first year, Steno had no problem going up and talking to Matt and telling him. But at the same time, Matt was also very good at talking to the linemen because it was a veteran group.
All right, Jason, what's your vote? I have already taken. I've taken Bryan Bulaga to the dock and said votes for Homer, offensive line coach in this situation.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Bryan Bulaga just delivered a very Jason Wilde style answer where he never actually said the offensive line coach was more important than the offensive coordinator, which is what you actually asked.
That is correct. I made the decision to give it a thumbs up, but now
I've never been prouder of Bryan. It's great to see my influence really paying off for him. But I'm going to surprise you, and I am actually going to definitively say, with an interesting caveat, which we'll get to, but I think Homer is right. And I love the humility of saying I may be wrong. Usually when you say that, it's followed by, but I don't think so. But I think in an average, typical, normal, offensive-minded head coach who is the play caller at the top of the offensive food chain, followed by the offensive coordinator, followed by the offensive line coach, I would say that Homer's theory is right. But what if the offensive coordinator is the former offensive line coach, which is what we're talking about here?
Great point.
Yep.
And then I would say that Steno, obviously, even though he can talk about wide receivers and tight ends and running backs, he knows the offensive line best as well, if not probably better, than the offensive line coach. So I think that adds a different wrinkle. But look, and Bryan and I talked about it on our show yesterday. Like I think Adam Stenovich is a really good coach. I think he's got really good ideas. I don't know if Matt always utilizes them, but like I feel like there's just like there is about offensive linemen in general. I think in coaching there is a kind of, shall we say, underestimation of offensive line coaches. Like when they become offensive coordinators, they're still kind of viewed as line coaches. They don't very often become NFL head coaches, right?
It's like the same thing you do to GMs when you think about making them the team president. Yeah. Good.
So I just would say that, even though I do think they need to refresh on offense, that doesn't mean you have to refresh the people. You can keep the same people, but you have to. Like what they've done, and Bryan is great on this, and I'll let him talk about it after the break or whatever you guys have planned. But they got to get the running game going in the right direction. And I don't think it's because Josh Jacobs stinks. It was certainly partially because of his injuries, which, we killed Jair Alexander for not playing through injury, and now we're complaining about Josh Jacobs' play because he did play.
But Jason, Bryan knows, I know, we all know it was the offensive line. It was, I don't know what percentage. The majority was the offensive line. It didn't work out. Injuries, right?
It's why it's why so much of his yardage is always after contact.
Yes.
So they have to, and Bryan can explain how they could go back to the old zone scheme more often than the duo blocking and all that stuff, get out of shotgun, all that stuff. But the bottom line is, if they can get the running game going better, then they're going to be. I think that allows them to do more things offensively to get back to being, a really high-powered group. They didn't, even though they had a bunch of explosives, it felt like it was a slog offensively.
They couldn't get a yard. They couldn't get 2 yards when they needed it all year, right?
Yep.
You couldn't know that for sure. All right, Jason, we do have
to
take a break.
I just want to say, Jason,
yes.
just so you know. Hackett, QB coach, Miami. It's on PFT right now.
You got a job.
There you go. Hey, good for him.
Yeah,
That's
now
awesome,
we have the doc breaking news. Thanks, Bryan Bulaga. Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. You go to the ESPN Wisconsin app, and it'll take almost your entire day to listen to all the Jason Wilde says just about every day. of course, I've been the voice of Marquette for a long time, so I travel, and I bring that up because I'm now doing Milwaukee weight loss. They have a plan, and no crazy workouts, no prepackaged meals, no counting calories. It's a metabolic reset that works with real life. I've been doing it now, I think 16 days. I've lost 12 pounds, and I won't say it's easy because that's why I did it, because other people did it, and they're still on it or have the weight they lost from it years later. I'm going to find out. And so it's instead of 3 meals, you have 2. I mean, I'm in the early toughest part. After 60 days, you can even adjust from that. But protein, vegetables, and fruit, and a lot of people lose up to a pound of fat a day. I don't know what percentage of mine is fat, but when they say drop 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, yep. Milwaukee weight loss, I'm expecting that. In my 60 days, I'm expecting a drop of 29 pounds. We'll see. Schedule your free consultation, 262-235-3980, or the easiest way, go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com, MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Bryan Bulaga, more on the offensive line next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Well, we've got a broken down vehicle on 94 southbound, just south of Layton. The right lane is blocked right now, so just watch out for that. Other than that, westbound 894 is backed up from 20th Street pretty much all the way to 68th. Southbound on the bypass, backed up from Beloit Road around the Hale Interchange past Forest Home. Southbound 43 also seeing delays from just before Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette to the KK River. Northbound from Fond du Lac up past North Avenue is where you're seeing those delays. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, chilly with a low of 4 above at the lakefront, 2 below inland, wind chills of 0 to 5 below. Tomorrow, chance for lake effect snow, 1 to 3 inches of snow possible, partly sunny with a high of 16. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Another 2-man scramble tournament is underway. Play the Kapalua Plantation course for a shot at cash prizes. Must play by January 31st. Sign up now at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
New year, new ride. Start 2026 in style at Cunis. Bring in the savings with amazing offers on all cars, trucks, and SUVs at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Cunis dealerships in Oak Creek, Greenfield, and Oak Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall. Trade in the old and drive into the new with huge incentives and rebates on all new in-stock cars, trucks, and SUVs from Chevrolet, GMC, and Buick. Better tech, better safety, better payments. Plus, we have pre-owned payments for every budget and over 2,500 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from group-wide. And don't miss this month's service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes.
I'm Scott Kunis, COO of Kunis Auto Group. We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials. And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases. Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
New year, new ride. Start your search online at shopkunis.com.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
Homer here with a message about 3 Pillar Senior Living Communities located on a serene setting along the Bark River on 300 gorgeous acres. 3 Pillar Senior Living Communities is a top-ranked full continuum community. Active adult, independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab. 3 Pillars, the hands-down choice for you or your loved one. Been there. Know people who live there. They love it. You got to go to Dousman and see it in person. Get all the info on 3 Pillars at 3pillars.org.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all. Hey, Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Fisco Auto Body, family business owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. They're still doing things. They didn't sell the family business. They're still doing the family business, meaning you will get a Fisco working on your car. Imagine how many years they've been doing it. That's why I suggest them. On Forest Home in Franklin, you'll like them, then eventually like me. That's a plus that I'm willing to admit I like. Expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle on Forest Home in Franklin. Fisco. And yes, you will admit, Homer, you were right. All right, we get back to the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga. So we're discussing offensive line and offensive line coach and all that stuff. And it is an excellent point that Adam Stenavich was the offensive line coach. So if you think that's important, that would be an edge that you would have with an offensive coordinator when you're not calling plays, to be able to assist on, as you explained, Brian, what's really important.
Yeah, no, and I think that's what makes Steno a unique offensive coordinator in this situation, is that he's able to relay those things to Matt. But even at the same time, and he kind of alluded to Butkus in that as well, as we talked about this on Monday, Jason and I, he can only do so much when the unit's performing at a certain level. And Butkus the same way, right? He can teach the exact same things Steno taught. He can do it the exact same way. He can explain it in his own way, but get to the same point and do all the same drills. I'm sure they're doing the same drills. And it's up to the guys to get it done on the field, or they're not getting it done, right? Like, it's one or the other. So as knowledgeable as Steno is, because I think he is, and I think Butkus is a good football coach too, because he was the assistant O-line coach in my first year, so I got to have a lot of experience with him as well. I think a lot of blame and finger pointing is getting passed around, and it's a little, I don't know, undeserving in my opinion.
You think it's more the players. You're never going to mention specifically the players, but you look at an offensive unit. I mean, I think last year the biggest problem was injuries and whether or not it was the right decision to move Jenkins.
Yeah, that was a huge decision. Yeah.
But then he got hurt, so that really didn't allow for a real evaluation. Right?
I mean, guys were hurt. I mean, guys started getting hurt week one. I mean, Zach Tom was out. Banks was out after week one. I mean, it was just a rolling injury situation in the O-line room. And when you can have to continually put new guys in and guys that you didn't expect to play that are playing, and you're expecting a group to perform at a high level, and there's bodies in and out of there and unfamiliar faces, and it impacts the performance and the play. And an O-line coach, even the great ones, can only do so much. They can only do so much. Like, I'll give a perfect example, like who Mannion's going to. Lane Johnson leaves that offense. He gets hurt this year. The offense struggled mightily. The run game struggled mightily in protection once he left, because Lane's really good. They'll just put it that way. Look at Detroit. Detroit's another example. Lose a lot of guys. There's injuries. The center leaves. The offensive line was nowhere near what it was. Their offense wasn't nearly as dangerous as it was the year prior. I get Ben Johnson left, but at the same time, there's one thing that changed big time, and that was the group up front. The group up front changed, and so did the offense. So I look at it.
Yeah, no. So now after this break, you're going to come back and tell us, because I'm aptly thinking, as I always have, that coaches are overrated. It's mostly about the players, but there have been some great offensive line coaches, and I'm sure they've been great coaches. But how much of all the credit was given when you were at the Packers were the line people that were the guys that were starting? Like, say, had they gone somewhere else and the coach sucked, to me, they still would have been pretty good. But you will set me straight. Bryan Bulaga, the doctor of football, all the time, but especially in the offensive line. I know players. I know what they said in tennis or other sports. The greatest ones, coach did nothing. I'm the star. I could have been good with any coach. They don't say that as much publicly as they do privately, but I've heard it, and that's the better they are, the less credit they give to any coach. But the truth to that of also Bryan Bulaga next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
I'm going to tell you this, there will be more scrutiny, so I think he better get off to a fast start.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Because I can already picture whomever we play right out of the gates. I got a hunch the old Fire Gannon hashtags are going to be warmed up and ready to go if things don't start well. He is not going to have a ton of built-in grace at that position.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
He wasn't stupid Sam. He wasn't sudden Sam. He was just sensational Sam, meaning Sam Darnold, the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks. There's no doubt he was the one that everybody had to circle around this weekend, part of championship weekend in the NFL. What kind of Sam Darnold are we going to see? Will he spit the bit like we've seen before with other less than stellar games or less than stellar situations that he had to be a part of involving the Los Angeles Rams versus Seahawks in the NFC Championship game? He was the second best player in the field. Now, Jackson Smith and Jigba is wide receiver. He was the best player in the field. But not too many times you go in a big game like that and say Sam Darnold was one of the better players on the field, which we've seen pretty much all year long that people did not want to give him credit for getting the Seattle Seahawks to an NFC Championship and now less than 2 weeks away from a Super Bowl. You always root for people like that. And Sudden Sam was sensational Sam for Seattle on Sunday. In 60 seconds, the likable Patriots?
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I never thought in either my sports watching life or my Freddie Coleman life that I would look at an organization and say, man, they're really likable right now. That's the case with the New England Patriots. They're no longer those stormtroopers when Bill Belichick was the head coach and the golden boy Tom Brady was ruling the roost in not just the AFC East, not just the AFC, but in the National Football League. There was something at times that became unlikable about the Patriots. Now, as a New York Jets fan, I'm hoping the same thing in terms of being an unlikable team in the Patriots, but not a winning team. I don't think that's going to be a case. You can't help but root for a guy like Mike Vrabel, their head coach, Drake May, their quarterback in his second year, and a bunch of really good dudes with this Patriots team. It's not a Patriot way. It's a Mike Vrabel way. It's a different way, and it's a likable way, a way I never saw coming from the New England Patriots. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
Get ready for the ultimate freestyle experience. Monster Jam Freestyle Mania, presented by Spin Master. For the first time ever, Monster Jam trucks team up with freestyle motocross bikes to deliver gravity-defying skills and thrills. See one-of-a-kind FMX bikes designed to match your favorite iconic Monster Jam trucks. Cheer on your favorite team. 2 times the freestyle action, full sand family fun. Coming to Fiserv Forum this weekend. Brought to you by Big 80 Tires. Visit monsterjam.com.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Oh, this is going to be a very good segment with the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga, because he can either agree with me or destroy me about the importance of offensive line coaches. I say in the pros, it's 70% players, 30% coaching. James Campen, you've spoken highly of him, but there were some really good players. At high school, in college, I think the coaching can be more important because the level of the talent varies, and then it's about taking average people and making them better. In the pros, I don't care how good a coach you are. You got players that aren't up to it. Good luck. And now, to destroy any or all of that, Bryan Bulaga.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some truth to it, but at the same time, like, I was very fortunate to have great O-line coaches in the NFL. I mean, Campy, Steno, Campy again in L.A., and Frank Smith, who was the OC in Miami just recently, but he was my O-line coach for 1 year in LA too. Great offensive line coaches. And what makes them great is that they allow players to be themselves and not try to turn them into something they're not, while they still play within the system. And that is harder than what many people may believe.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because they're really good, and they expect that they want to show everybody how smart they are, right?
Yes, and there's a lot of coaches who think it's either my way or the highway, or you can't play here, and a kid may be really talented, but hey, he doesn't do what this technique well, and this is what the coach says it has to be. Well, he's going to get on his you-know-what list and potentially may not make it. And when you have great coaches like Campy and like Steno, I always tell the story when Steno first got in from San Francisco, and he was the O-line coach. And he obviously had his ways. He learned his ways in San Francisco, and obviously he was teaching that technique. And Dave and I had been doing the techniques that he and I both used individually for so long, and we'd been doing under Campy. And I remember we had a conversation with Steno. We were like, hey, we will try to do as much as your technique that you want as possible. Like, we will try to do it to the best we can. But at the end of the day, when it matters, we're going to go back to doing what we know best and how we do it best. And I think he got used to that because it wasn't like we were losing blocks and blatantly being, disrespectful.
So he changed.
Yet he allowed the players to be the players and execute the scheme that he wanted. We didn't mess up, but we did the job he wanted. But he got used to us doing the techniques that we became very good at.
Well,
and to me, those are great coaches.
I want to thank you because Bryan Bulaga has done the same way. There's no way he doesn't like me interrupting all the time, and that's not the way he wants it done. But he lets me do it. He's pulling a Steno on me. Thank you. I'm going to start calling you Steno. Tune into the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant. They got a great one on the 87 McDonald's Open. Unbelievable. Find Behind the Bucks on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. Marquette basketball are coming up with Royce Parham. Listen closely.
Southbound on 43, backing up from North Avenue down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. A little bit more delayed between Beecher and Lincoln. Northbound, we've got